I'll wait a couple more minutes. I believe people are logging on still, so. I'm a little concerned with my internet connection here. It's I don't know why I have no bit rate going up and down is good. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, good. I guess we'll be okay. We'll see. Actually, just let's see here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 54. Okay, a couple more people are joining, so I'll give it a couple minutes. Thank you for responding, Jacob. Mhm. All right, we can get started. If you don't have my model, I added a new one to Blackboard. Under content, models, Professor Wing's models. And I also added another one. So if you've been having trouble, when we've been loading families in, we're gonna hopefully get to it. But I've loaded a curtain wall door to Blackboard, and we can get to that later. I'll minimize this just so you see it's under content. Right, so content, models, Professor Wing's models, current 3 models. Okay. So what I'd like to cover tonight, hopefully, like I say, my internet connection is in the red, being not great. I don't know why, but I want to do room color fill plans. I want to do room area calculations. And I also, hopefully, if we can do it all tonight, we'll see. But I'd like to get to a little more customized curtain walls. Because if you remember, we put this big curtain wall in, but also there's basically stick-built curtain walls that we can basically model on our own. Even this little strip is an part of our curtain wall, so I'll be showing you how to do that. So I'm going to close this model. I'm not going to save it. And I'm going to jump back into it. So we all want to be in our architectural model that we were working on last week, where we're adding the ceilings. So I'm just going to open mine up. Oh yeah, we had that little round one there. We had a lighting fixture in there. So that was a good time. That was a good time. But what I want to do now is I want to go down to level 1. Actually, I'm sorry. Does anyone need another minute? If you do, that's fine. Okay. Ooh, my connection's getting better. Look at that. My experience is now fair. Okay, Annalie, that's fine. I'll wait a minute. No problem. And again, if you don't have the model, it's on Blackboard. Ooh, my experience is now good. Look at me go. Okay, everyone's ready. So in the project browser under floor plans, let's double click on level 1. I want to go down to level 1, not the ceiling plan, but just the actual floor plan. And if you remember, we have all of our rooms in and we have all of our tags in, and we kind of investigated how to do that. But what I want to do now is I want to pull the information out of our rooms, and I want to make a color finish plan, right? So what I want to do, let's right click right on level 1. If we just right click in the project browser on level 1, I'd like to duplicate view, and I just want to go with duplicate. So we duplicate view, and we're just going to duplicate. That pretty much puts us into a blank slate, right? Our rooms are still here, but our room tags just aren't in here, okay? Now I want to turn some items off. I don't want to see sections. I don't even want to see furniture or elevations or people or anything like that. I just want this to be pretty clean. So in our level 1 floor plan, if you remember how to turn objects on and off, if we go to visibility graphics overrides, we can click edit right here. And that's going to bring up our visibility graphics overrides for floor plan level 1 copy 1. So right, remember this is just this view that we're in. So let's see here. I want to scroll down. I want to turn off casework. Turn that off. Keep scrolling down. All that other stuff we're not going to see anyway. Uncheck entourage. Remember that Cynthia. That's entourage. So we'll turn off Cynthia. We haven't deleted her or removed her from the model. It's just she's turned off in this view only. Turn off furniture. I think that's pretty much everything I want to turn off here. But what I do want to do is let's go to annotation categories right here. There's a bunch of stuff in here. So I want to scroll down until we find callouts. Let's uncheck callouts. Going down. Let's see here. Dimensions, we can turn dimensions off. Let's see here. Elevations, let's turn those off. And one last thing, I want to scroll all the way down till we find sections. And I want to turn sections off. Sections gone. Click apply. Click OK. We'll keep our grids on just so people can figure out where they are. Now what I want to do is I want to add our room tags back in. But what I want to do, let's see here. For tag room, let's click the drop down right here. I'm sorry. Go to the architecture tab.
Professor?
Yes.
I don't see the grids on my copy.
It could be that maybe if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and if you expand Revit links, do you have structural but a red X next to it?
Yeah.
Nothing at all?
Yeah,
okay.
There's a red X on it.
Okay, so do you have my model open or is it?
It's yeah, I have your model open right now.
Okay, it's not going to really matter, but what you could do is if you download the structural EW, put it somewhere, and then what you're going to do is you're going to right click on structural EW, you're going to reload from, and then you're just going to browse to wherever you put that.
Okay.
It's not going to really matter for the first 2/3 of class, I don't think. So, okay, so now that we are in our, now that our view is clean, what I want to do, if we come over to tag room, but we click the drop down here, I want to go to tag all not tagged. We're going to get this dialog, but if we scroll down, we find room tags where it says loaded tags. Let's click into here and click this drop down, right? And I want to go with room tag with area. Right, room tag with area. And for some reason, I can't click OK. So are you guys able to click OK or no?
You have to click the check mark next to the door tag or room tags.
Oh, thank you, Jacob. Nice. I was like, what is going on here? So, you know, when you get the room tags, of course, you need to check what you want to tag. So we're going to go room tag with area. And then we check on a room tag. Of course, I knew that all along. I was just testing you, Jacob. Thank you. We're going to turn on room tags. We're going to click apply. We're going to click OK. So now we're kind of getting into something a little different here, right? What I want to see is what the square footage is of these rooms. I don't know why my floor plan is 1/4 inch equals a foot. I don't know if yours is or not. But I'm going to change this back. I'm going to click 1/4 inch equals a foot. I'm going to make sure this stays at 1/8 of an inch equals a foot. There we go. And if stuff is in the way, like my east entry tag, of course, we can just select the stuff and move it out of the way. Okay. Now, notice that we have level 1 copy 1 in the project browser. So we're going to click on level 1 copy 1. Okay. Then we're just going to click it again. We're not going to double click it. We're just going to click it so we're into it so we can edit it. And we're just going to call it level 1 color fill plan. Level 1 color fill plan. Then we'll hit enter. Is anyone not with me? Okay, good.
For my plan, the square footage is not showing.
What you can do is when we so if it just says office, so zoom into office 101.
Yep.
Select the tag itself, like I'm doing.
Yep.
Right click on it.
Okay.
Go down to select all instances.
Yep.
Visible in view.
Okay.
Now, in this dialog here in the properties, click the drop down. You should have 3 tags available. Select room tag with area. Hopefully you have that choice.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And that should turn on the square footage.
Okay.
Now we're going to make a schedule to calculate all this, but what I want to do next is create a color fill plan. So to do that, what I need to do is let's go to the Analyze tab right here, Analyze. So on the, you can notice we can do a lot of analysis. But on the color fill panel, there should be a color fill legend button right here. I'm going to click this one here. And we don't have much of a choice, but notice that there's an item that we can just pop onto the screen. So we're going to, where it says no color scheme assigned to view, we're going to pick this point, like right about here. And now we can choose what we want to base the scheme on. We're going to change it, but they give us spaces, HVAC zones, and rooms. Obviously, the other 2 are for mechanical, electrical, plumbing, but I just want to select rooms right now. In the color scheme, instead of department, which we don't have a department assigned, we're just going to grab name for the color scheme. So space type is rooms, color scheme will be name, and then we'll click OK. It's going to calculate it, and it's a pretty boring floor plan. We only have 3 different names, and it's about as dismal as a color scheme as you can get. Right, but this is the default. Obviously, we can change this. But basically, this is a great way to do code enforcement plans, egress, ingress plans, those types of things. Instead of bringing this stuff into Photoshop, Revit does a great job with this. All right, but let's modify the room legend. So go ahead and select the room legend. Notice that with this selected, I'm sorry, did anyone not get that? Excellent. So once we select room legend, we can click on edit scheme right here. Now you'll see we can do a bunch of different, we can make new schemes. I mean, we won't get too involved in it, but for the color, you know, we can go off of area if there's different areas, and we can add color schemes here too. But let's just go down to number. Put a number. And it's, you know, colors not preserved good because these are pretty rough anyway. So click OK. Now you'll see that we're going to get these color schemes. A lot of companies have these set up. I know that Campus Planning, Design, and Construction at Syracuse University has a really nice setup for this because I did it for them. Well, I shouldn't say that. I taught them how to do it and helped them, and then wound up doing it. But any company is going to have their color scheme set, right? So if we click OK here, now you'll see that, you know, if we add a room, it's going to add a color. And we can, like I said, base this on anything we want: square footage, room name, room usage, occupancy, whatever we need, right? And of course, if we go back down to level 1, so if you double click on level 1, you're none to the wiser, right? In level 1, if you ever wanted to turn on the color scheme now, though, you could just scroll down, and where it says color scheme right here, right? If instead of none, look familiar, you know, category, rooms, you know, name, there it is. I'm gonna hit cancel. I don't want to turn it on for level 1, but you can now just turn that on, right? So you can apply that to any view. Hit cancel. Are there any questions or comments? Good. Let's go back down to level 1 color fill plan. Let's save our model. Although this is calculating square footage per room, I'd like to get a total square footage for level 1. Okay, so to do that in Revit, we would create a schedule, and that's what I want to do. So to create a schedule in Revit, let's go to the View tab, go to our Schedules dropdown. Let's go to Schedule Quantities. Let's scroll down till we find Rooms. For the name, we'll call it Room Schedule, but in caps, cap lock, Room Schedule. Let's click OK. Great. Now we don't need much here. So I'm gonna, of course, I'm gonna grab name, gonna add it. I'm gonna grab number, I'm gonna add it. And I guess I want to grab, scroll down, or I'm sorry, scroll up until we find area. I was looking for square footage. Area is square footage. So we're gonna add area. I don't like the order that I just did that in. So I'm gonna select number. Down here, I can just nudge it up 1. I can move that parameter up. Number, name, area. Is anyone behind? Is everyone good? Again, trust me, you're going to be doing this a lot. And when you get either an internship or a permanent job, and you see someone doing this stuff in Excel, and they're doing it in Photoshop, it's going to be a teaching moment for you. Like, hey, can I show you how to do this the right way? Don't say it in those terms because you'll probably get them mad at you. But just, show them, lead by example, right? So I want to go now to sorting and grouping. I'm going to go to sorting and grouping. Right? And I want to sort by number. Keep it ascending, so it'll just be alphabetical, right? Makes sense. Down on the very bottom, I want to click on grand totals. Title count and totals, that's fine. I just put it all in there. And if it's too much, I can always go back and pull out information. To be honest with you, usually I just add almost everything when I'm creating a new schedule, and then I'll just start pulling stuff out of it that really don't make sense, and sometimes stuff doesn't calculate. But I'm pretty sure these three fields are gonna be just fine. So let's go to formatting now. For the area, click on area. Notice now down here, we can click the drop down. Instead of no calculation, I want to calculate totals. I'm going to calculate them totals. And we'll click OK. All right, now we know that we have 9,014 square feet on level 1. And we can't see level 1, but what we can do is go back and add information. So for fields, let's go back to edit right here. I'm sorry though, is everyone with me? Did everyone get this result? Did anyone not, I should say? Okay, great. So for fields, let's go to edit. Let me just check my chat window. I think these are the older ones, but good. Okay, excellent. Scroll down to level, find level, and just add that. And click OK. Now level 1. Now, once we add rooms to other levels, right, it's going to distinguish between those levels. We can either give each level a grand total, overall grand total, so you can kind of see how nicely Revit works, right? And if I was to come in here and change the name of something, like room 104 is going to be, I don't know, lounge. So you just change room 104, that's now named lounge, right? So with it selected, 104 lounge, if you click highlight in model right here, I'm going to zoom in on it. You can hit close right here. So you see the control that you get. It's really a powerful tool. Right? Good and bad. I've had people screw up my floor plans because they were messing around on the schedule and got it all jacked up. But it doesn't happen that often, right? Are there any questions on that? It is really a nice tool. All right, so I'd be remiss if I didn't have you make a sheet and add that schedule to it, as well as our color fill plan, right? So let's save our models. Let's click the pull down in our project browser. Let's scroll down until we find Sheets All. Right click on Sheets All. Let's go to New Sheet. And we'll stay with the 30 by 42 horizontal title block. We'll click OK. Now we're simply going to drag items onto the sheet. So if we scroll up in our project browser, level 1 color fill plan, we'll drag this onto the sheet. Right? And now we'll scroll down to our schedule. So if we scroll down to where it says schedules quantities, we now have one in there. So if we drill into here, check it out. There's our room schedule. We're going to drag our room schedule onto our sheet. We can put it wherever we want. We can put it right here. All right, hit escape a couple times. Zoom in on your schedule. It's kind of bunched up. It doesn't look that great. So if you select it, notice that you can drag out these cells to make it look at least somewhat legible. That's a good sheet, right? For your projects, I'm not requiring you to have this, but if you want to put it in there, it's definitely, it'd be good to see. You know, you don't have to. If you don't, you're not going to get dinged on your grade. But keep this in mind. This is something you'll be doing as an architect. Not a big fan of the colors, but it reads it. It knows what it's doing. So in our border, instead of unnamed, let's call it all caps, color fill, IL plan. Okay. Now everyone knows you've got a color fill plan. Any questions or comments? Good, good. Of course, I'm going to get you to save the model. Okay. Now, in the project browser, let's go down to level 1. I want to do the curtain wall stuff now. I thought this was going to take a lot longer, but it didn't. So under floor plans, let's go to level 1. Double click on level 1. Again, I don't know if your scale is a 1/4 inch equals a foot, but mine is. I'm going to change it back to 1/8. I'm going to click my 1/4 inch equals a foot. I'm going to set this back to 1/8. It makes no difference to what we're about to do, but it just bothers me. Okay. Now, I want to put those 2 curtain walls here, and there's going to be one up here, but basically the one up here is just going to be mirrored once we're done with the one on the south wall, okay? So the idea is I want it to be, you know, a foot in and a foot in from both sides here. So I want to start by adding reference planes, right? So to do that, let's go to the Architecture tab. And let's go to the Ref Plane button right here, all the way down on the right side of our dialog here. Ref Plane, it's my favorite. Really is a dandy little button. So click Ref Plane. Okay. Draw panel. Click on Pick Lines. For the offset, let's go 1 foot. So you have 1 foot. Now I'm just going to pan around in here. It pulls the focus out of that offset input. You just pan around by holding down your wheel button, right? So I'm going to hover over this horizontal wall, and I'm going to offset a reference plane down 1 foot. See how I hover over it? Make sure you're over the thick line, and it's going to offset that reference plane down, right? Once you see that alignment line on the bottom, pick it. Now I want to do the same down here, but we're going to use the inside wall. We're going to offset this one upward, like that. We're going to hover over this line here, and we're going to pick it. Then we'll hit escape a couple times. Okay. Now it's kind of hard to select, right? So if you hover over this, and if you hit your tab key once, notice that you can select it. Or if you just hover over it and it selects it, that's fine too. We're going to hover over it, and once it lights up, we're going to pick it. We're going to zoom in, we're going to grab this grip, and we're just going to drag it out a little bit. Okay. Escape a couple times, and this one's a little easier because it's out here. We're going to select it, grab the grip, and stretch it in. Anyone having trouble with that? Good. Okay, so now it's time to add our curtain wall into it. Let's hit save just to do it. Now on the architecture tab, let's click wall. Now for the wall, I want to click the drop down here. Now I want to scroll down till we find curtain wall 1. Curtain wall 1. And select it. Okay. Now we lost Kevin. Let's click edit type. I want to duplicate this. So let's click duplicate. Let's call it front radial, upper lowercase, front radial curtain wall. Front radial curtain wall. I made that up just on the fly right now. That's how I roll. That's how I roll. Click OK. Now the only thing we need to do here, and it's the most important thing, automatically embed, we have to click that on. We didn't have to do that with our other curtain wall because that was already checked on. This one is not. This is just a giant chunk of glass. That's all this is. Notice that there's no grids, there's no nothing. We're going to add our vertical and our horizontal grids manually, and we're going to fill in what we want the actual curtain panel to be. Okay. So let's click OK. All right. Now the base constraint is level 1, but the base offset